Promil Gold 4 presents Projector.
We were presenting in an inter-school competition, but the projector stopped working. The team got so worried, but not me. I had to think fast. My solution? Our own projector. I asked my team to find a shoebox, magnifying glass, and a phone. Ta-da! It worked! We finished presenting and won! Problem solved! I'm an Alpha Kid.
Powered by Promil Gold 4. Your child can be an Alpha Kid too. Visit facebook.com/Promil Gold 4.
Hi everyone! Welcome to Raising Alpha Kids While at Home. This is a live discussion series where we will get to talk about tips on how moms and dads can effectively raise Alpha Kids and give them the advantage even while they're at home. This is of course brought to us by Promil Gold 4 and Rappler. I'm Isa Leton and it's great to see everybody tuned back again. Thank you very, very much for joining us, and we really hope to give you a great discussion because we have an amazing expert joining us who will talk particularly about technology. And that's something a lot of us are really looking into nowadays. But before anything else, I'd like to give you a couple of reminders. First and foremost, the advice of the experts today are not intended as a substitute for professional medical advice, okay? Nor is it medical diagnosis or treatments. So please, please, please continue to consult with your own healthcare professionals, especially your pediatricians. Last but not least, all the questions and concerns related to our discussion today are for children 3 years old and above. 3 years old and above only. So thank you very much. Please do keep those reminders on the top of your mind. So again, this is called Raising Alpha Kids While at Home. You're probably wondering, what's an Alpha Kid, right? Well, they are the kids who are smart. They think fast. They're independent. In fact, they possess leadership qualities because they always like to keep doing things better. In fact, they're great at problem solving. They're always curious. So that is what we call an Alpha Kid. So in this second episode of Raising Alpha Kids at Home or While at Home, we explore how moms can leverage technology for your Alpha Kids learning while we're all at home. So joining us today is a teacher, academic, and co-author of the book Growing Up Wired. It is a book based on research that talks about the impact of technology on children. Let's say hello to Dr. Quina Lee Chua. Hi, Doc Quina.
Hi, Isa. You're looking well. I'm happy you're looking so well.
You too. It's great. I'm sure you are very, very busy nowadays. So I'm very honored to have a bit of your time today to share some of your tips and advice for the rest of the moms and dads out there who are raising Alpha Kids at home. Okay, I'm going to jump into the thick of things. You are known for this and your research is known for this. Technology. What do you think is the role of technology when it comes to today's kids? Because for me, as a parent, it's inescapable. They're born into this landscape. They're born into this time and age where technology is part of life. So what do you think is and should be the role of technology?
Technology is primarily a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill. I would really like to say that technology is not a yaya. And please, technology is not a parent. And technology is not exactly our barkada. So technology is what we use it for. And it's usually as a tool.
I love how you stated that. With any tool, it can be used for good, or it can be, sometimes if you don't know what you're doing, if you're not so equipped or well practiced with it, there are some stumbles along the way. But definitely, it's always something we can learn and relearn. Is that right?
Yes, definitely. Technology is inescapable today.
Yes. And I don't want parents or kids to be afraid of it. I mean, fears are sometimes informed or biased and all that. In fact, sige, I'll get straight into that then. As a parent, of course, there are fears when it comes to something I don't know much about. I doubt anyone is a master of technology at this point. So for me as a parent, I'm wondering, or my personal fears are overstimulation, especially for young kids between 3 to 5 years old. I'm sure some parents can relate that hindi pa niya makontrol yung technology time niya, right? So how do you address fears for parents? What's your message for that?
That's actually a very valid fear. And you hit it on the head when you said, kasi hindi pa niya makontrol. So, yes, definitely, hindi pa kayang i-control ng mga mabata yung technology time. So, that means, commonsensically, that parents have to accompany them in control and in using the tech. For 3 to 5 year olds, I would highly recommend never leave your child alone, even if they're using, yes, even if they're using educational app. I do not mean hovering over their shoulder. So you can be in the same room and your kid is doing one device and you're doing your own work on the other one. But from time to time, look and see what your kid is doing.
Okay.
So,
So
yung
supervise.
supervised.
Yeah.
Natatakot ako minsan kasi the kid is alone in his room. That is where many problems start. And the kid is on technology 8 hours a day. And the parent does not know what the child is doing. That becomes a problem.
That's true. I agree with that. Definitely don't leave your children, be it the young ones, 3 years old and above, to actually ako may teenager na. No, especially, I'm sorry, I know this is over na. No alone time then, or at least for prolonged periods of time. Anyway,
Yes.
going into this fear also, I just wonder then, to be more informed, uh, what's the effect ba on the brain of a child, especially when it comes to using a screen too long? I mentioned the word overstimulation, and you actually agreed. That's what happens. So, what happens in the brain?
The experts actually say that for development to be ideal, all the senses have to be engaged. So all the five senses. The problem with screens today is that screens engage primarily, 90% at least, visual. There's nothing wrong with that. But visual is 90% and auditory is 10%. Walang smell, walang taste, walang touch.
Wala
And
pa.
wala pa. Kung meron, baka hallelujah, di ba? Pero wala pa. So the scary thing there is the child will grow up with development which is concentrated and stimulated in some areas and deficient in other areas. And that's the problem. So well-rounded, definitely not. Physical activity lang, wala na eh. I know there are apps. I used to be a huge fan of Wii because I would do the tennis, etc. there. And that is not so bad. And what I actually can recommend is people can actually go online on YouTube and do the exercise videos. But still, I know of one case wherein the child was doing the exercise video, nahulog siya because because the kid was staring so much at the YouTube that they fell over their own feet. So, para sa akin, ang sinabi ko lang sa parent, is the parent message me, sabi ko ganito, shut down YouTube because the child is just 6 years old. The child is physically not, talagang screen kid to. Shut down the YouTube, take out the stimulation of visual, and just have the music open. And just dance. Sabi ko, just dance. You don't have to follow a routine. Just dance. So
Just like our time, actually. And hey, it encourages creativity then. I mean, why do you have to follow someone else's choreography when you can make it up yourself, right? Definitely. So I like that. Again, maybe fears when it comes to brain development. Don't forget that, like with life, it should be a balance of everything. And I like how you really stressed on growing up for a child has to be on the five senses and not just two, or particularly with technology, one, which is visual. That's why rest your eyes. Maybe that's one way to at least let parents know na control your fears. There are ways around it. And as long as you find yourself informed, I'm sure you'll be able to be a better role model. Am I right? I think that's also another way to actually translate to your children the use of technology. You mentioned this to me before in one of your talks. Parents should be role models.
Oh, yes. Many of my students complain that the parents have lots of rules about screen time, but parents actually are the first ones to disobey their own rules. So, yes. Yes, I think parents should also, it's not just for kids, parents should also go offline. Even if they work, nobody works 24/7, even if they claim to. So go offline also. And when you go offline, let your child go offline. Do quality offline activities, many of which are, we can easily do.
Nice, nicely said. But getting back on technology now, again, it's an inescapable time. What more? Going into the rest of the year, the school years. Schools are now offering online learning to supplement classroom learning. And especially, again, there's a reason why we are in this ECQ. What is your thoughts then on that? when using screen time or using technology? Because now, as an educational tool, it's more inescapable than ever.
Definitely, I think there is a role for technology in education, and online learning is important. And in fact, not just important, it's essential.
Mm.
But I am more of a fan of what we call blended learning, which is not just online. I would actually say the younger the kids are, for every hour of online learning, if I were the teacher, and I've been talking to teachers groups about this, for every hour they spend online, please ensure that there are 2 to 3 hours of offline work. That means that they will email the worksheets, etc. And these worksheets can be downloaded or can be printed out to be done at home using pen and paper, because kids also still have to practice their fine motor skills in writing, etc. Not yung ganon. So,
Good point.
okay online, but make sure there's also offline. So it's blended learning.
And para hindi nakababad sa screen. I mean, another thing is, I think, of course, you still need a teacher. You still need someone to take you through certain activities or explain something that's unclear to them, especially for young kids, grade 1, 2, 3, right? But it's also nice na, okay, kids, let's do this for 30 minutes and then I can see you back in 30 minutes. Is that a good solution to this blended learning?
That's a very good solution.
Or an example? Yeah.
Yes. And I would actually now hope that parents will take a more active role, because when the kids are offline, we want the kids to be doing the tasks the teachers assigned rather than playing games. So the parents are not supposed to answer the worksheets. Parents, please, parents have a tendency to do that. But parents are supposed to supervise to ensure that the child will do it. And again, this is learning. That means that the child makes mistakes. It is totally okay, because only when the child makes mistakes can they learn. So yes,
That's
blended. Teacher, parent, child.
Is there such a thing as, because of too much exposure online, again, or looking at the screen, nare-reverse ba ang learning ability ng bata? I wonder, is that a valid fear, or parang may backtracking ba ang brain? No.
That's a very good question, and it's a very sensitive one.
Uh-uh.
And that is, it's the news is something many of us do not like to know about. But yes, experts say that sometimes language development can be delayed, because study after study shows that the way to promote language, confidence in language, the use of structures, etc., would be through face-to-face talk rather than passive video learning. So yes, language development could be hampered. And also there are now studies that link certain syndromes to too much online exposure. So
Or
yes,
screen time. Ako ba naman kasi lumaki ako yung nagde-declaim, ako yung nagde-debate. I always like to recite in class. So maybe even when you are on screen, if you find yourself with teachers, or if you are having this online learning sessions, for moms and dads out there, just see if your kids also volunteering pa rin mag-recite, diba? That's very true. I didn't think, I'm taking that for granted, because I'm actually in this job and this kind of calling where I like to talk, and I get to talk for a living. So that's really a great example, a little reminder for moms and dads out there, that even with this online learning, hindi lang dapat passive. Dapat nga may kausap. Thank you. That was a really great point.
In one teachers group, I pointed out to the teachers, I'm very, very worried if in a 1 hour session, the teachers, because in their zeal to ensure that the topic gets finished, the teachers will just monopolize. And I can just see on the country, the entire screens where the children are like zombies looking at them. And I don't like that. Doon ako natatakot. So sana, gusto talaga natin one-on-one sana yung interaction. But
well, maybe that's where parents can come in, or even siblings.
Yes.
That's why it's encouraging. Blended learning is also being at home, that you get to converse. What did you learn today, right?
Yes.
So tell me about your session. Tell me about your homework. Are you
Yes.
having a hard time? It encourages the kids to also say, Mommy, I need to do this and this and this. So even their oral skills are practiced. And I like the way, again, it still stimulates their brain, because they get to connect things, put things together.
Yes.
So, Queen, still on this topic, again, I like how parents can be involved. Some parents think they're not equipped for this. They're like, "Hi, nako, I don't want online. I already have so much on my plate. I have to cook. I have to work at home. and then now I have to be a teacher to my kid. I believe you have a nice message for parents about this, especially for parents who say, I'm not like that. I can't do it.
All parents are equipped to be teachers. In fact, all parents are the first teachers of our children, whether you know it or not, whether we like it or not. But some parents are more patient than others.
Oh, that's true.
Parents, please, in this time especially, you are the parents of your kids. You're the ones who brought your kids to the world. So please, parenting does not end when your child is born. Parenting is an arduous task, it's a lifelong task, but you can do it.
Nice. I love that. Again, this is a little pat on the back for all parents out there. We're in this together, believe it or not. That's why, again, I hope these talks of our raising alpha kids while at home with someone like Doc Quina giving us that little cheer na kayang-kaya natin to. And I also personally believe in that, though I also admit I have my, time lang. Give mommy 10
All of
seconds.
us have.
10 seconds. Give me a pillow to scream into. Okay, what was your question again? Okay, going back to technology and screen time. Sige, still on parenting as well. I really can't get enough of this one because it's a balance. Like you're saying, it's a tool. It's something you should self-regulate and model, be a good model to your children. So I'm going to be a bit technical here. How much are kids allowed? How much time are recommended for kids? Alam ko there's a per age group. Am I right? How much time per age group are really recommended for kids? Especially with the comparison of before ECQ to times to now. There's a big difference. Everything is online. Work is online. Connection is online. Even between family members is online. How can you really say that screen time has to go down? How do you manage this? Recommended screen times.
Recommended screen times right now by the American Academy of Pediatrics is not just on the length of time. It's also on the quality of screen time. There is a difference between screen time wherein kids are just passively doing a game versus screen time wherein kids are actually actively engaging with, say, a grandparent who is in the province. There's a huge difference. So it's not just the quantity. So yung natatakot kami would be yung passive, mindless screen time. Doon kami natatakot. Okay? So mindless screen time, if ever, mindless screen time, if I had my way, would just be none, sana. Sana lahat ng screen time natin is not mindless. But fine. If we don't know what it is, then experts will say 30 minutes to 1 hour. For kids 3 to 5 years old, screen time will go up when kids have more self-regulation. But again, these are recommendations by experts, and I need to stress that parents, you are the one who knows your kid best. So if you feel your kids can handle it, then more screen time. If you feel your kids are having problems sleeping, your kids are actually having problems with their eyesight, your kids are having nightmares.
Actually, Doc Rina, it's even as simple as this one. They can't put it down.
Yes.
I really have to be honest here. There are some like, hindi ko kasi makuha yung iPad sa kanya. If our children cannot even put it down, I'm sorry, parents. Reality check. There's something there na you need to address.
Isa, tama ka. And if they cannot put it down, I'm very, very sorry to say this. I hope it might become an addiction, and we don't want that. No addiction is good. So this one, including screen time addiction, it's a bit scary. So let us stop it now. By 3 to 5 years old, kaya pa. So we can regulate it and we can model it. Again, the kids need to see us put our screens down.
So again, if they see us as an example, it will encourage them as well. Because I love it that we can be our own children's heroes and models. Now, hey, if mommy and daddy can do it, so can I. Right? I love that. Okay, so speaking now of, at least we're encouraging it. Again, if you know your child, they're the kind of child who likes to build, they're the kind of child who likes to dance, who likes to draw. What kind of apps then, or these educational tools, even websites, are best for them? Personally, I want to share my bunso likes to build. In fact, sometimes after lunch, like between 1 to 3 and by around 5 o'clock, she'll say na, Mommy, I have a mall. Look at my mall, oh. Like you can shop here or there. And syempre, there are even those that yung, aminin na natin, yung mga sumasayaw-sayaw nowadays, and they post it online. That's also nice naman because it encourages physical activities. What are your thoughts on these apps or these, online games out there that, do they really stimulate? at least not just even children, even us adults, right?
Isa, again, they're good apps and they're bad apps. I myself use apps. So I used to even like several of the more of the problem solving games. So there are several games that I still use now. I'm a huge fan of crossword puzzles. I do Sudoku, etc. I do
I
them
love
online
Sudoku.
and I do them offline. So what do we do? Okay, I think based on the child's interest, find an app that can sustain his life offline, not just online. So
Oh,
tama ka
good
dun sa
advice.
building blocks. So when you do, your kid can start with several of the apps that construct online. But honestly, after that, tell your child, okay, this is such a great thing that you built, the mall. Can you now build a mall offline using the blocks, the bricks,
Or
etc.?
draw, or draw
Or
via
draw,
pencil and
or
paper.
draw, yeah, or
Future
draw.
architect, future architect,
Exactly. Exactly.
interior designer.
Diba? So they can always use the apps. They can always use the apps to draw, but they can also go offline and do the drawing that way also. They can also, dancing is very, very good, but they can also dance without the apps. So make the apps, the apps we like are the apps which are not mindless. So we want mindful apps. And when we say mindful apps, these are apps that engage all three, all the senses as much as possible.
So again, speaking now, how do you think it's best to at least relay this message to our children? So far, we're saying model it so that our kids can follow it. But there's also, with me, I personally like to always converse with my children on that. Like, baby, you have to put that down now. It's like, why? I'm having fun, mama. But because maybe mommy wants to talk to you. Can you do something with me? But maybe some parents can't afford to do that. Like, they'll be like, wait, I'm still working here. Do something else. Just put down your iPad. Kids might feel, inutusan pa ako, I want to spend time with you. Parang, how is it best to at least talk to your children about managing screen time? What are your advices on that?
Parents, yes, have to work, but I don't think parents work consecutively 8 hours a day. Nobody does it. Even if they say they do it, they don't. They can always find time. What kids right now, especially in this time, would be a routine. So yung pinaka-importante is when the kids wake up, please make sure the app or the screen is not the first thing they do.
That's not the first thing they reach for. Good
Yes.
job. Yeah, good advice.
And then the reason why many kids tell me that they prefer to be online is they tell me that their offline life is not, they say it's boring. They say they don't know what to do offline. That's the real reason. So many of the kids we in our study, they say actually we know. Many of the kids are actually anxious. They know, mom, we know that we spend too much time on the screen. Pero mom, we don't know what to do off screen. That is the thing. Nobody, it's the elephant in the room. So what do parents do? Parents, you need to be creative. You need to find activities for the kids offline which are as interesting as the activities the kids will find online. And parents, please do not tell me you cannot find those activities. You can. Coloring, dancing, music, playing the piano, playing the violin, even just screaming. And I know of one family that actually gave up because the kid is a budding artist and they didn't have time to buy an easel. So I told them, let the child write on the wall with the erasable pen. Tapos
Yes.
sinabi ng nanay sa akin, it will be so marumi, di ba? I said, erasable pen, let the child do it. And she texted me 2 weeks after to tell me it works. And her kid actually was offline for one whole day.
Nice. Okay. Again, it's stimulating other areas of their development offline. And again, you'll always find other ways to keep your children busy. And for me, as a parent, moms and dads out there, I like that my children get bored. We grew up bored too. And in
Yes.
fact, it was in this boredom we got to know what we can do even more, right?
Excellent.
I think up of things to do. I think up of story. Basta, it's how not necessarily even get creative. You look back, you reflect, you can even be a problem solver via it. It's like, mama, remember that thing you kept looking for? Why don't you just do this and that so that it's easier for you? Parang suddenly you just think of solutions. It's not necessarily just, I think boredom is good. I personally, I think boredom is good.
Excellent. When I do therapy on young children, many of the kids say that they are bored. I will actually tell them, okay, be bored and do whatever you want. After a while, they're no longer bored.
Nicely put. Okay, last question before we say goodbye to Doc Rina. policing these technology apps? How can parents police against dangerous applications, dangerous websites? Because of course, maybe what's this ba? Security issues, hackers.
The easiest thing to do it would be just to download uh, antivirus, which has anti-safety features.
Okay.
The only scary thing about this one is a determined hacker can actually get in whatever virus thing we have. So
Antivirus has safety. You mean antivirus has safety? Yeah, has safety features. Yeah.
But again, the biggest thing would be if the parent and the child communicate well, they will know, and the parent can always ask, which websites are you visiting? And then the
That's
parent
true.
can seek accompaniment, di ba? Yung ayaw ko is the child is doing it underground. Kung underground, wala na tayo. No amount of nanny software can help it.
Mm.
So just
again,
what the child is doing.
It comes out with how well do you know your child and what activities online are your child doing. It's just a simple conversation or at least a little look over the shoulder. Hi, what are you doing? Because
Yeah.
at the end of it, they can't download these things without your permission,
Exactly.
without your credit card, without.
Exactly. Exactly. Please do not give them your credit card. Please. You have to know everything they're downloading, whatever apps, whatever Apple Store, whatever. You have to know what they're going to buy.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much, Doquina. So to summarize everything, technology is a tool that can be used for good, and it's not something for us to fear. Am I right? Any last points that you'd like to recap for our moms and dads out there? Because it's been such an enriching 20, 30 minutes already. We've tackled so many topics.
I think I would like to stress that technology can be used for social interaction. I did say it a while ago with connecting with grandparents, for instance. But social interaction is something that is underrated. So I would prefer that when the child goes online of whatever age, they are not just passively watching the screen, that there is a real human being. For instance, their friend. They haven't seen their friends for 2 months, diba? So say hello to your friends. And social interaction does not have to be 2 hours long. Saying and chatting with a friend can be just 15 to 30 minutes to see how the is doing. And during the social interaction, they can talk. They can actually say, look at the jigsaw puzzle I finished. Look at the cake I baked. Mga ganon.
Yeah.
Which is what, diba?
This is great for AlphaKids because they always like to share, look what I did today. Look what I achieved today. Look what I figured out today. Maybe you can do it too. It really brings out their confidence levels and even the curiosity. What are you up to? Hey, I want to do that too. So technology is really great for connection. Great point there, Doc.
And I think you talked a while about AlphaKids being leaders. I think way leaders, one important characteristic of a leader is to know when to self-regulate. Another important characteristic is confidence. And we need to harness tech in order to build those two qualities, rather than tech hampering those two.
Yes. So make technology your friend. If not your best friend, make technology your friend or your tool. Because again, it's not a yaya, it's not a parent. It is a tool that we parents, moms and dads, can use so that we can definitely make sure our alpha kids are growing up, staying ahead. Like they continue to think fast, that they continue to build all of their developmental skills, 5 senses. Again, not just eyes and ears, but think everything also, the nose, the oral, that they can communicate well, and that their bodies are still working. All right. Thank you very, very much again. That was our Alpha expert for today. Thank you very much to Doc Quina Lee Chua for all the tips on technology, how we can use technology so that we can still raise our Alpha kids while at home. But a last reminder for all of the moms and dads who are watching us today, who are tuned into our episode 2, please, all the advice and questions and concerns related to our discussion today are only for children 3 years old and above, okay? And the advice provided by Doc Quina Lee Chua should not be a substitute for professional medical advice nor for medical diagnosis or treatment, and that you, as moms and dads, should always continue to consult your own healthcare professionals or pediatricians. So with that, thank you again for joining me here, Isa Leton. I'm Isa Leton for Raising Alpha Kids While at Home, Episode 2, Leveraging Technology for Your Alpha Kids Learning at Home. This is brought to us by Promil Gold 4 and Rappler. And I hope to see you all again for the next episode because we have another great expert and more tips that will help all moms and dads at home to raise our Alpha Kids. Thank you very much to Promo Gold 4 for helping keep Alpha Kids think fast and stay ahead in this fast-changing world. Bye, everybody. Stay safe and stay home.
Promo Gold 4 presents Projector.
We were presenting in an inter-school competition. But the projector stopped working. The team got so worried. But not me. I had to think fast. My solution? Our own projector. I asked my team to find a shoebox, magnifying glass, and a phone. Ta-da! It worked! We finished presenting and won! Problem solved! I'm an Alpha Kid.
Powered by Promo Gold 4. Your child can be an Alpha Kid too. Visit facebook.com/promogold4.